Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Brewing Coder, and today I want to talk about my new mod pack, Kid Klub Light. And you're probably wondering, why is this fool making another mod pack when there's a bajillion mod packs that are out there? I mean, we got the 18 launcher, we got Feed the Beast, and now any Tom, Dick, and Harry can make a mod pack on Curse. Why? Why did I make a mod pack? I'm going to tell you why I made a mod pack. Number one reason why I put a mod pack on Curses, I don't have to constantly edit configs in my kids' computers and my kids' friends' computers, and I can't tell you, in the last 6 months, my daughter has brought her friends with her laptop over just so I could install this custom mod pack so that they can play the way they want to play. Why did they want to play a modded mod pack? Well, because vanilla is just getting boring for them. They want all the cool stuff, but kids are kids. And kids don't have the attention span to play the Feed the Beast Infinity in expert mode and spend 4.5 months to make their first jetpack. No, they don't do that. What do they want to do? They want to do a little bit of mining, then they want to make something cool, then they want to go beat up zombies and creepers. But they want to do it with guns or spells or whatever. So this mod pack, and it's 1.8.9, so there's not a lot of tech in it anyway, so it's not tech heavy, it's magic heavy. It's got a little tech, but it's also got some stuff that I consider way overpowered and broken. I wouldn't play this for my own entertainment value, but the kids love it. So, very first thing I want to talk about is a mod called Super Ores. What are Super Ores? Super Ores are totally overpowered and broken. Fill your bags up with all the cool loots, because these things are so dense, and I messed up my recording a second ago because I had to take a telephone call. But I just dug in, 10 blocks? And Super Ore. Oh, Super Gold. No, that's not Super Gold. There were Super Diamonds here. Let's go a little bit further and see what we got. Super Gold. Do you know how much, what happens when you put one of these in a furnace? It drops you 8 ingots. 8 ingots. You can mine, and the diamonds are 8 diamonds. Oh, there's one. See, if you're going to put something this overpowered into Minecraft, reduce its frequency in the world gen. Or do something where, okay, so we've got some regular iron here, and we take a look at the regular iron gen and say if the random generator generates 4 irons next to each other, then bonus, hey, let's put in 1 super ore. But no, we're going to throw our super ores everywhere, and you can mine for 20 minutes, and you can come away with just all the freaking materials you need for the rest of the game. All right, maybe with the exception of iron, because you get down here at the level we're at, which is I think level 11, right? Yeah, down here to level 11, you're getting a lot more of the gold, the diamond, the lapis, and the redstone, and less of the iron. If we headed up a couple of levels, we get more of the dense iron, but it's down here, and it's so thick that there it is, super iron, 8 iron ingots. And it's not like they're 1 or 2. There's usually like 4 or 5 of these suckers around. So they don't have to spend a lot of time mining. So they can come down here and they can mine. They can get their cool stuff, and they can move on. So let's talk about some other things that I've got in here, because mining, the number one thing that they really, they hate spending all the time to get all the emeralds and all the diamonds that they need when they're playing regular mod packs, because, I mean, really, balance-wise, for an adult, who wants to create a mod pack that gives you super cool ability with no cost, right? That's broken. So we have to put costs into mods, and the costs are usual middle to end game, so they include things like ender pearls or nether stars and things like that, things that are more difficult to get, things that the kids want me to cheat in for them because they don't want to spend the time to build an Enderman farm. I get that. That's not what they want to do. They want to use the cool things that they get. So some of the recipes here have been what I call de-nerfed to reduce the reliance on nether stars and ender pearls. They've been replaced with things like, diamonds and emeralds and things that if they really want to work, there are no dense emeralds, but we are in a, we do have extra biomes, and we are in a in a biome here that does spawn emeralds, so they can find the emeralds. If it's a super high end thing, I'll put an emerald. I'll force them back down into the mine. But that's it. So let's talk about some other broken stuff. Easy storage is a mod that I consider pretty overpowered for what you get. It is storage. It is applied energistics style storage with very little investment, and it relies on this one thing called a storage core controller, which is pretty easy to make. Let me tell you, it's and this is I didn't change this recipe. This is their default recipe. This is the controller. This is like your ME controller. And then we have a storage box. This is like a hard drive. The storage box is just, this is easy. They can do this, right? This is awesome. What I have done is I have bumped up the number of items in the config that this holds. So I think I made the storage box hold like 1,000. And if they want the big one that stores 5,000 items, then they just need to spend 10 minutes mining super ores and get themselves some iron. Anyway, they still have work to do. They still get cool benefit. But take a look at this. With the addition of the search box and the crafting grid, they get an interface that's very similar. I run another server. It's running Feed the Beast Infinity, but it's not an expert mode. And my kids play there. And the very first thing that I do when they log in to the server on a game I'm playing is I hand them a wireless terminal. And I can tell you that that's one region where I definitely cheat, and I go into the config and I bump that wireless range on applied energistics way up, and I just crashed. Okay, we're back after a crash. Crashity crash. I am having some OpenGL issues. I have got to get rid of my NVIDIA card. It hates me. So, ME on the cheap. Now, we don't have nifty stuff like interfaces. This thing can't interact with furnaces. You can't do automation. Who cares? The kids don't do automation. They just don't want to have to remember where they put that diamond in their bajillion chests that they have in vanilla, right? So, cheapy storage, cheapy turtles. My kids don't know how to program their way out of a paper bag, but what do they love? They love using turtles, and they know how to paste bin, and when I write a program for them, or I put it out there, they love to have their turtle mined. They will sit there, and they will watch that chest, there's an old program out there called Orcore that I still use religiously, and they set up their turtle, and they know how to do it. And they'll sit there and they jump up and down when the turtle comes back to drop its load off into the chest. And then they pick up everything and they run back to their base or wherever they're storing their stuff, and they're all excited. And they love watching what it hauls in. It's like a random loot generator for them. So turtles are cheap because I've reduced the cost of the wireless modems, and the wireless stuff doesn't require ender pearls anymore. So they can make, it's not like computers are pretty expensive anyway, but, they are what they are. So we don't need to use ender pearls to make the modems. They know how to slap a modem on. Piece of cake. They're also set to run without fuel, so they don't need to worry about their turtle getting stuck in lava down near bedrock and having to go figure out where it is. It's going to keep running no matter what it has in it. So that's awesome. Now, the one tech that we do have in the game, ignore the open computer setup. This is what I do when my kids are playing, is I play with open computers. So what do we got here? We got some Neotech. Now, Neotech is a tech mod. It is one of the only complete tech mods available for 1.8.9, and it has seen a mass amount of improvements just in the last week to week and a half, and it is the one reason why it is in this mod pack is because of how much work they've put in to this mod in just the last couple of weeks. We have transport pipes, right? Buildcraft isn't officially out for 1.8.9. There's nothing out until this that had transport pipes. So we have the ability to do transport pipes. We have a furnace. We have a crusher. This is our ore doubling setup right here. Now, it's not like we need ore doubling when we have super ores, but whatever. We have our electric furnace. I'm playing around with some open computer stuff. Ignore the man behind the curtains. But we have transport pipes. The transport pipes can transport green as your items, Red is your power. I don't have any blues, but blue is fluid. So yeah, it's great. It's pretty cheap too. Let's look at the recipes. You know, we have JEI here, so it's pretty easy to look up. We're going to look up Neotech. And now Neotech has a hand grinder. Think of it like Applied Energistics hand crank grinder, except instead of using a hand crank, what they've done is they've added a special pressure plate. You put that pressure plate on top of the grinder and you jump up and down on it. The problem is, I don't see any reason to use a manual grinder. Why? Because their electric crusher is too cheap. Alright, so you need 4 pieces of tin. And tin's not a super ore because it's provided by the mod. How hard is 4 pieces of tin? Really? It's a little extra mining. They get it. There's not a lot going on here, and they have an electric crusher. What do they need for power generation? Well, they can do a furnace generator. Oh my gosh, that's not too tricky either. They can do that. They want to get high end and they want to do a fluid generator and say pump lava, because I got to be honest with you, lag wise and all this other stuff. I pipe in I pipe in a creative tank of lava into an ender tank and hand them an ender tank and say here. But fluid generator. All right, so they got to get some glowstone. No big deal. They do this and they've got power forever. All the power they want to, and the pipes are cheap, right? It's iron over glass. Who can't do that? Oh, you want to make a power pipe? No problem. Redstone block with super ores. I got a bajillion of these. I got a bajillion of these in 30 minutes. They can do this. They can do this without the grind. Yet they still have to pay some penalty. They still have to put it together. The item pipe is a chest around the structure pipe. Now, I may make some changes here in the future. I may make this drop 16 pipes instead of 4. They're not very good at pipe routing. I'm not very good at pipe routing sometimes because, you know, it's cheap material. So I'm not one of those guys who tries to compress their build down into a 4x4 block. But whatever. This is fairly cheap. The recipes that I've changed here really have to do with... and that didn't take. I may need to check on that because these recipes are not correct. They're dumbed down where I've removed the redstone comparator because redstone comparators require nether quartz. So the config should have taken, but they didn't. I'll have to definitely look into that. I do not give them chunk loaders. They don't need it. However, if they want it, the chunk loaders with Neotech are pretty cheap. You'd think that a chunk loader require an ender pearl in most mods. Most other mods do. No, this one doesn't. Block of redstone, block of gold. And with super ores, these right here are not an issue. Alright, so we've got our one tech mod. I've got some automation running, and my automation is minimal. Anything that needs, any traditional ore that needs doubling goes in here. Do I have any? Yeah. Boom. Done. Is it just a furnace like the super lapis? Boom. Done. Pipes over into my system here. Alright, done. Easy. I just know where to drop stuff off and I'm good. My power generation's on the upstairs. There's solar panels. Solar panels are pretty cheap to make too. So what else do we have here that's really cool? We have Tinker's Construct. Now, Tinker's Construct, it looks like a totally new rewrite for 1.8.9. A lot of cool stuff it's got. Look. I guess when I put that chest there, I don't get it. But when the machines are connected together, or the machines with the crafting tables, you get a multi-user interface. You get tabs across the top. But I've made it so that you don't need to use a smeltery. So do I have any iron? Let me get some iron. Oh, that's so broken. Do they want to build a hammerhead? No problem. Boom, there's their hammerhead. You don't need to have them build a smeltery. I love Tinker's Construct. And if they want to make an alloy, sure. If they want to make manolinium, sure, they're going to have to build a smeltery because they're going to have to do that. But really, to be honest with you, if they get around to mining cobalt, they can stick to cobalt and they're going to be just as happy. But they don't need a smeltery. They put the raw material in here and it's going to make your parts. They still have to come and assemble the parts over here Sure they do, but that's not all that tricky either. So this has been made a little bit easy. Um, I've also set it up so they get all of this. They get some cool books. They get they actually get a thermometer and books when they log in. Thaumcraft has been put into what I call super easy mode. There's no warping, no warp effects. It's been turned off. Taint doesn't spread, and everything is set up to be purchasable rather than researchable. It's what I call. Well, I think he's got it as wuss mode. Anyway, all they have to do is purchase this research with experience levels. So they go out and they kill some stuff, and they get XP, and they can purchase. Now, are they going to get into high-end stuff? I don't know. But you know what they like to do? They like to work their trees. They like to go make their wands. They like to find the aura nodes. It's a little bit different in 5. This biome has nothing. Oh, there it is. Took a second to update. So we're pretty evenly distributed here between Order and all the others. That's pretty cool. So we have Thaumcraft in easy mode. And if you've never played with 5, oh, you definitely want to. Whenever you look at something that's got a question mark floating on the screen, you know that there's things you can learn from it. So you learn knowledge and you get some practical knowledge, and you are going to have to do that to get up there, but it's nowhere near like the research that you typically see. So there we have it. We'll take a look. Let's do a quick run down on the overall mods. I'm going to switch into creative mode so you can see the tabs. We have blood magic. They love themselves some blood magic. It's fun to watch them kill themselves by accident at their altar. We have, of course, Thaumcraft. We have this cool thing called inventory pets. Around the world, there are trees that have chests. These are also craftable. They give you pets that when you put in your hotbar, they do something. Like this guy here, Heart Pet. So let's take a look and see what he does. Group regeneration when you right-click. His favorite food is a poppy. So if you get this Heart Pet and he's in your toolbar and you have poppies in your inventory, he will munch on poppies, and if you right-click him, he is going to do regeneration in an area. He gives an AoE spell. So these little pets are cool, and they're randomly generated in chests that you find in the top of oak trees. If you're in a birch forest and you see a small oak tree, boom, bingo, you know there's a chest up there. And some of them are craftable. So they're not, not horribly expensive. What does this guy do? AoE resistance? Yeah, what kid isn't going to like to play around with these things? And they're kind of cool because they got nifty animations. So, inventory pets, way fun for the kids. We just talked about Neotech. We do have progressive automation if they want to. It's really the only way to do coring in this Modpack, short of using a turtle, which I really only have one kid that likes to use the turtles. Progressive automation is cool because they can start out with wooden items and work their way up to diamond, which with the super ores is very easy. I've changed the config so it's not quite as what word should I use? It doesn't give you as much of a penalty when it comes to tool durability. So we have RF tools. I don't think they're going to be playing with them. I added this in here because really I love RF tools. I wanted to play with some of their new items that they have out there. I was under the impression that he had a quarry device. I don't see it, but I will keep looking through his stuff and try to figure that out. I just saw a YouTube video. Steam engines, it's there because super ores. Yeah, we have tinkers. Of course, we already talked about tinkers. Um, Random utilities, biomes aplenty. We have chisel and chisel and bits for my artistic child. Computer craft ender tanks because I like to give them an ender tank dialed into some lava, so they're not always having to worry about lava. Ender utilities, I threw that in here mostly because I wanted to play with it because I hadn't played with the new version, and I wanted to mess around with some because we don't have automation, the ability to have the like an ender pick or what have you automatically drop things into certain chests and stuff like that. So we'll see how that works out. Kids got to have graves, even though keep inventory is set to true on this particular server. Project E, I wanted to try the new version for 1.8.9. This is the rewrite of Equivalent Exchange, and we'll see how that works out. PSI, brand spanking new from the awesome mod author who does botany. She is a young lady who I think when she wrote botany was in high school. Anyway, botany's not released officially for 1.8.9, so it's not in here. I don't ask me why yet, but my kids love botany, and I love botany, but it's not here. But she's got this new thing called Psi, which is supposed to be really awesome. And I can't wait to play around with that. And I got quantum storage because it gives the ability to basically it's a DSU and a DSU for fluid that doesn't need Mind Factory Reloaded, which God bless MFR. They've been around forever. They were one of the first, serious factory mods that were out there, short of Buildcraft and IC2, but it's a big Modpack, and it's one of the reasons why my kids' computers can't run certain versions of Minecraft. Thaumcraft is another big one, but you want to see the recipe on this? How broken is that? You want to store an almost infinite amount of cobblestone in one single block? All you need are 8 chests of emerald. Not too tricky. You want to store almost an infinite amount of fluid? Not too tricky. And if you want to get really cool, you can automate that and pump into that. And then I can do cool stuff like monitor the inventory with computers. Not like I can do anything with it because there's really no tech automation here. So there you have it. We'll talk about the world a little bit. I'm still in creative mode. Let me hop outside here real quick and change it to day so we can actually see. We do have biomes aplenty. So we get some really cool biomes here. And the new version of biomes aplenty is spectacular, to say the least. At least I think they fixed a lot of problems I had with it in some of the previous versions. It seems like their development has really taken on a renewed sense of purpose here. I used to, say 2 years ago, I'd run biomes aplenty, and I'd end up with a 1,000 by 1,000 block continent of frozen tundras and frozen this and frozen that. And now it's configurable right here in the screen. I'm going to show you that in a minute. But you get some really awesome looking biomes. I have to tell you that some of the biomes, and I crashed again. Okay, NVIDIA and NVIDIA and OpenGL just don't get along. I need to get another video card. Oh, golly gee. Let's get back in. Logging in. Hello, world. Now, I know I was showing you extra biomes when we dropped off. However, what I would like to do is just kind of summarize here and basically talk about a couple of things. First off, griefing. Griefing's huge around here. And sometimes it's not purposeful griefing. It's hey, my sister just let my prize horse with the diamond armor out of my stable and I can't find it. Or oh my God, you let the 5-year-old play and she used a hammer and busted all the windows in my house. Well, you know what? FTB Utilities to the rescue. You can now claim your chunks. When you claim your chunks, nobody else can break a chunk, open a chest, or open a door inside your area. Now, yes, that means that if you want people to come over and visit, you're going to have to leave your doors off, or they're going to have to figure out using commands how to let their friends in. However, if they let we start doing that, then their friends can start breaking blocks, and things go downhill from there. So, it's a start. It's a good way of getting yourself some claim chunks where nobody else can mess with you. All you have to do is left click to claim, right click to unclaim, and if it's a wilderness, then you're good to go, and you can do whatever you want. Now, it also has friends lists, so that's all well and good, but hey, I had 2 deaths. So this mod pack, made for kids, made easy, made early game, mid game easy. There's not a lot I can do about Magic. Magic is what Magic is. The mod pack designers have created it in a certain way. I can't do anything about giant multi-block structures inside of Blood Magic. They want to learn how to upgrade to a tier 5. I gotta help them. There's no way around that. There's no way to change that behavior through modifying mod packs. But I can at least hand them an altar and a sacrificial knife as part of their starting inventory. I can hand them a thaumonomicon and what do you call this? A thermometer. As soon as they log in. So, it's cool. The kids hopefully will love it. Hopefully we're raising the next generation of Minecraft miners, because I'm old, but I still find time to write some code here or there when I have the time, which is few and far between these days. But if you look out there, how many mods in the last 2 or 3 years do the authors come in and write this killer mod, and then they disappear? Why do they disappear? They don't disappear because they hate Minecraft. They don't disappear because they hate their mods. They disappear because they get a real life. These are college kids learning how to code, and they do some awesome project, and then they get noticed, and then they get hired, and then they get a real job, and then they get a wife, and then they have kids, and then they don't have any time anymore to spend all night long with a bottle of Mountain Dew and some or some Red Bull, and code have a coding session for 36 hours straight. We're adults. It's so hard for us to do that. So we have to have that next generation to bring in the new ideas. And I can tell you one thing. I'll get off my soapbox in a minute. One thing we need to do is we need to introduce our kids to modded Minecraft and get them away from the vanilla, because they can do cool things, and they will do cool things the more they get excited about it. And this is hopefully this introduction. So if you see anything in this mod pack that you think is too hard for a 12, 13, 14-year-old to handle, if you see something that you want changed, drop me a note. We'll talk about it. We'll make it happen. You want additional inventory in the starting inventory, backpack, you let me know. You want some sort of behavior changed, and we'll see if we can figure it out. But my goal is to make this the ultimate kid magic pack moving forward. Now, when this upgrades to new versions and new tech comes out, I may or may not be bringing it in. So when Thermal Foundations or Ender IO or Applied Energetics comes into 1.8.9 or 1.9 or whatever next version they're going to happen to support, I'm probably not bringing those in. There is no 10-year-old I know of that wants to mess with an Applied Energetics system. It's just not going to happen. So, but we'll talk about it, and we'll make it happen. So I hope you enjoyed this mod pack. I hope you found this brief introduction at least somewhat edifying, and I hope that you can use it and we can help grow it together and make it something that kids are going to love. So this is the Brewing Coder, and to all you parents and kids out there who want to play modded Minecraft, keep it up and enjoy. I am out of here.